here's the deal. I want to know about these cuts to scientific research and the cuts to healthcare, particularly when we're talking about the NIH and competing with China. You know, we have this bill that I wrote to reinstate the cuts that have gone down to public funding for medical research, cancer trials, and the like. And how is this impacting the goal of being less dependent on China for the production of our medicines, our pills, that, you know, life-saving meds that we gotta take? Because it strikes me that if we, as the United States of America, are seeding R&D, if we're seeding medical research, particularly with the public dollar, that's going to China. And Dr. Gibbons, I think you wanted to jump in here. I could see you nodding, so I'll pass it over to you.
Yeah, you know, having been a fellow that was funded by the NIH, I'm eternally grateful to the NIH, and so I strongly believe in this. I think that there's many parts of this that NIH funding and broadly U.S. funding is important for. The NIH funds clinical institutions that run trials. So all the names that we've named today, the major trialist institutions, are basically funded by the U.S. government. They're paid for frequently, the trials, by biotech companies, but those entities exist because of the U.S. government. The training that we have for the next generation of scientists, almost entirely funded by our U.S. government. So when we talk about the sea turtle policy, those are postdocs who are also funded by the U.S. government who are returned back to China. So, you know, in a macabre sense, you know, at least maybe if we shut down our public funding for research, we're kind of shutting down China's too, because we're training them. But I think that every single innovation that we've ever had in biomedicine has stemmed from our U.S. research institutions, which are basically world-class, historical class, and all of that has basically trickled in, either directly or indirectly, into our life sciences and biosciences economy. So that is just innovation and people and institutions.
And what about the brain drain as well? And, you know, our resident economist here could maybe chime in on that front, because, you know, we're now worried about, okay, if we're not funding the programs, we don't have the talent here. And in terms of the long-term competitiveness of our biomedical innovation against the Chinese system, is, you know, are they taking our talent? What is going on with the, you know, current workforce and the next generation? I don't know if Dr. Marlar wants to weigh in on that.
So I think the workforce, whether on the manufacturing side or on the drug development side and science, I think I would need to defer to my colleagues here who really are experts in this.
Okay, so as a healthcare economist, you don't have a comment on the workforce? Okay.
This is not an area that I've studied.
Okay.
I'm happy to talk on it as someone who was funded by these exact programs during my PhD, and that PhD work did directly lead to the formation of my company, which now employs over 100 scientists in the Boston area. I think that right now what I'm seeing among my colleagues who did not enter private industry, who stayed in academia, is an incredible pull to other jurisdictions, not just China, but even Europe and Canada, as we cut funding or make it harder to achieve. Perhaps injecting some unasked for nuance into it is to examine how the NIH was dispersing money and the issues that existed there that have been highlighted by academics for decades without really having a real solution. The overhead costs, often exceeding 50% that go to some of the academic institutions, I think needed reined in. Whether or not the approach that we took to rein them in and chop them off immediately was the right one, I can't really say. In addition to that, the NIH and a lot of federal funders need to think about what it is we are trying to fund. A lot of funding from those agencies goes to established labs that become become mills for writing grants rather than places of intellectual curiosity. The R01 NIH, the joke among academics is to do 80% of the work before you write the grant.
Yeah.
And that way you know you're successful. So while I think that the cuts have been damaging to our base, I think it would be inappropriate for us to pretend that the funding mechanisms were working correctly as is. Thank you.
That's an important point, and thank you. You know, I know I got to yield back my time, but just for the record, you know, spending time on the Science, Space, and Technology Committee, I've applied for NSF grants in the past, in my previous life before being elected to Congress, and you're spot on to talk about that as well, and that it's marching orders for us. With that, Mr. Chairman, I'll yield back.